I'm Carryl Church and I'm an author of historical fiction. My debut novel, which is called The Forgotten Life of Connie Harris, came out in September. And it's set locally against the backdrop of cinema.
Well, thank you for joining us, Carryl. And to start with, I want to take you right back to the start of your career and what really inspired you to become a writer in the first place?
I think I'd wanted to be a writer since I was very young, probably sort of 7 or 8 years old. And I did lots of bits of writing through my teens and 20s, but kind of had to get a proper job really to support myself, so I went and did other things. I worked as a film archivist for many years, but the writing kind of never went away, and I kept sort of chipping away at trying to write novels, and eventually finally wrote one, but it did take a few years to get there.
Well, it sounds like writing has been part of your life for many years, and as you said in your introduction, you have released a book. And
yeah.
Where did the narrative of that book come from? What kind of inspired that?
So, as I said, I trained as a film archivist, so cinema had always been a big sort of passion of mine alongside writing. And so the narrative of the book, really, that's where it came from. And the novel is set in the cinema, and it's about an usherette and projectionist, so it's very much kind of got that cinema background to it.
Well, writing a book must be a bit of a challenge, it must take many hours. So in your opinion, what do you think it takes to create a book? Like, what are the steps in that?
I think, first of all, you need a good idea that's interesting enough for you to kind of want to keep going, persistence and determination, because it is a huge undertaking, and you won't always get it right straight away, and there's a lot of kind of editing and work to do, but yeah, just keep at it, basically.
It sounds like a great process. And are there any resources or tips which help you when you write, and are you able to share any of them with us?
I think reading, if you're an avid reader, it really helps you with writing, because you'd be amazed how much goes in without you really realising, just in terms of understanding how to structure a novel and how to kind of get good characters and structure a plot as well. So that would be a really big tip. And I think the other thing is to find other writers who can read your work for you as well, because you really aren't the best judge of how good your work is.
Yeah, thank you for sharing those. And I imagine that as fun as writing is, there probably is some challenges that you face along the way. So what are those challenges and how do you overcome them?
Definitely. I think just the biggest challenge is not giving up, because there are days when you turn up to the page and you just feel like it's really hard to get anything down. So I think just having a bit of self-belief and sort of keeping going, basically, and trying to keep getting some words down every day, even if it's not many. Do
you think having an agent or self-publishing is better in the writing industry? Do you think you need one or the other?
I wouldn't say one or the other is better. They're very different. So I've got an agent. It takes a very long time to get an agent because the competition is immense. And I wrote 3 novels before I got my agent, so it is a case of just persistence. Having an agent is sort of your gateway into sort of traditional publishing. If you want to self-publish, that's fine too, but you will have to do a lot more work yourself.
Just sticking with the agent topic, if an agent is a route you want to go down, how do you go around getting an agent, and what was kind of your process of getting one?
You can find agents in the Writers and Artists Yearbook, but you can also find a lot of information about them online. And the most important thing to do is you have to send them in a sample of your work. And unfortunately, each agent is different in what they require. So really, the important thing is to follow their guidelines, which are usually on their website when you're querying them.
Going back to your book that you released was a historical romance, if I'm not wrong.
That's right.
So have you thought about, or do you write any other genres other than that one?
It is historical fiction that I'm most kind of keen on and enjoy writing, but I also am quite keen to try writing historical crime as well, but for me historical is the big thing, I think, so that's what I want to continue with. Amazing.
It's an incredible genre of writing to do, and for people who are watching this who perhaps want to get into writing, or for young people who want to become an author one day, what advice or messages would you have to them if they don't feel like they're good enough to get into that industry?
I think just no one feels good enough when they start out, and even when you get you know, as far as me, self-doubt is quite a big thing. On anything you're creating, you're going to feel kind of worried that it's not good enough.
Yeah, earlier on you mentioned about the amount of work that goes into being a writer. So when you released your first book, what was the promotion like for that? Is there a lot of promotion you've got to put into it?
Yes, there is. Yeah, social media is a big part of it. And some authors, you can sort of choose what you're comfortable with, really. So you don't have to be across all social media all the time, but you do have to do a certain amount to kind of not just promote your book, but get people interested in you as well and what you're working on, and you sort of build it up from there.
Yeah, promotion sounds very important. And Carryl, thank you for joining us today and for chatting about your writing career. It's been amazing. So thank you for giving us your time.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.